Hello everyone once again and welcome to IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Tonight we are at the Tiernan Center in Richmond, a home game for the Red Wolves as they take on undefeated Mount Vernon Nazarene. The Cougars 6-0. Red Wolves ranked 38th right now with a record of 6-1 on the season. Hello everybody, I'm Caleb Gillock along with Derek Blank. Well, as I mentioned, the 38th ranked Red Wolves are 6-1. The Cougars are 6-0, undefeated so far this season. Last time out, the Red Wolves held on for a 75-70 win over IU South Bend on November 15th. We watched that game as we were at Earlham as the Quakers were taking on Denison on Saturday, I believe. This is the second NAIA meeting between IU East and Mount Vernon Nazarene. The other meeting was a 97-73 Red Wolves win in November of 2011. Current IU East players Tyler Fangman and Houston Clark, they combined for 18 points in that matchup against the Cougars. IU East has now won 4 in a row. The Red Wolves are off to their best start since the 2011-12 team that started the season off 11-1. Houston Clark has 5 consecutive games with double digits in points and rebounds for the Red Wolves. IU East's most recent win against an unbeaten team with 5 or more wins was the Red Wolves' victory against then 9-0 Indiana Wesleyan University in December of 2011. Tyler Fangman and Houston Clark average a team-best 14.1 points per game. Let's take a look at the opposing team tonight. That's going to be the Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars. Mount Vernon Nazarene has won its first 6 games under a new coach after finishing 7-22 last year. Mount Vernon Nazarene is off to its best start since the school's 2007 and 2008 team started 10-0. The Cougars with the number 7 pick in the Crossroad League preseason poll. Martell Medley, a 6'3 senior guard, leads the Cougars in 4 statistical categories: points per game with 15.8, 6.7 rebounds per game, 4.5 assists per game, and 2.8 steals per game. Mount Vernon Nazarene has won its games authoritatively. The Cougars' closest contest was a 7-point win at Shawnee State University on November 11th. Take a look at some of the Red Wolves in the rankings. IU East is 12th in the NAIA and defensive field goal percentage allowed. That's a 380 average. 14th in the NAIA with defensive three-point field goal percentage allowed, 287, and 15th in the nation with 14.6 offensive rebounds per game. Houston Clark is 5th in the NAIA with 11.1 rebounds per game and 8th in the NAIA with 4.4 offensive rebounds per game. Tonight's blackout night here at the Red Wolves home game against Mount Vernon Nazarene. The student section all got Red Wolves shirts with a black logo on them, and the Red Wolves themselves are in their black and white uniforms tonight here at the Tiernan Center. Derek, should be a great game. What do you expect to see tonight?
I think it's going to be a great game. Both teams off to a great start, 6-0 start for the Cougars, and we've only got one loss on IU East's part, but I like this. Both teams seem to play good team basketball. Not one player is dominating at the ball, not one player is scoring. So you're going to see a lot of good basketball played. You're going to not see a superstar take over. You're going to see a lot of good basketball. A lot of players are going to get involved. I'm excited to see this game.
All right, before we take it to break, let's take a look at the kayak standings. Right now in the South Division, neither in the South or North Division a team has played a conference game yet. So right now it's all by season records. Right now Brescia is in 5th in the South Division, Alice Lloyd in 4th, IU East in Southeast, in 3rd, CCU 2nd, and leading the way in the South Division right now is Asbury. In the North Division, Carlo right now in 5th. IU Kokomo is in 4th with a 1-4 record. Point Park is in 3rd with a 4-1 record. IU East in 2nd with a 6-1 record. And Rio Grande, the newcomer to the conference, leads the way right now with a 5-0 record in the North Division. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with our starting lineups for tonight's matchup between the Cougars and the Red Wolves. You're watching IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. And welcome back to IU East Men's Basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. I'm Caleb Gillock along with Derek Blank. Let's go ahead and meet tonight's starting lineups. First, we'll start with the visiting Cougars of Mount Vernon Nazarene at guard. It's going to be a 6'3" senior number 1, Martell Madley. At guard, a 6'3" sophomore number 21, Josh Ashwell. At forward, a 6'7" junior number 24, Eric Roby. Also at center, a 6'10" freshman number 33, Jordy Mox. And also at forward, a 6'6" senior number 42, Brian Reddick. They are coached by Jared Renee. And now the starting lineup for the Red Wolves. At forward, a 6'9" freshman number 1, Brad Hunt from Jennings County High School in North Vernon, Indiana. Also at guard, a 6'3" senior from Beechwood High School of Cold Spring, Kentucky. That's number 2, Tyler Fangman. Also at guard, a 6'6" junior from Kokomo High School, number 4, Houston Clark. Also at guard, a 6'2" freshman, number 5, Jacoby Claypool from Northrop High School in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And at forward for the Red Wolves, a 6'8" junior, number 20, Jason Ray from Martinsville High School. Once again, the Red Wolves are 6-1 on the season, and the Cougars are 6-0. Derek, tell us a little bit about what you expect to see in tonight's matchup.
Like I said earlier, I think it's going to be a great game. The thing I like about the Red Wolves is they play great team basketball. Hester's got a lot of guys in. There's no one averaging over 30 minutes, so he's not relying on one superstar or two superstars to take over. He's playing team basketball, and that's like the best kind of basketball, if you ask me. I like seeing everybody play good basketball, getting everybody involved, and I think both teams are going to be going on that same strategy, so it's going to be an interesting game. Both of these teams match up pretty evenly, it looks like.
Mount Vernon will get the tip on the opening play of the game. They're going to drive the lane here. Missed there by number 42. That's Brian Reddick. So he's now 0 for 1 on the game. It's going to be out of bounds. It'll stay Cougar basketball. 19:45 to play here in the first half. So 15 seconds on the opening play. Ball now inbounds. Out on top of the key with Martell Madley. And tried to pass over into the corner. Almost went out of bounds. Does not travel, now back out in top of the circle. 21 left on the shot clock. Madley has the ball out top. Passes over to Reddick. Reddick's going to put up a 3, no good.
One thing you got to know is, looking at the stats for the Cougars, and stats can only say so much, but looking at the stats, they take a lot of three-pointers, and they're ranked 5th in Division II of making three-pointers. So Red Wolves they really got to come out, they got to close out real quick on the perimeter players if they want to beat this team, because force them to go inside, because they're really comfortable shooting that three-pointer. So we really got to force them inside.
Back on the other end after a shot missed by Fangman. It's out on top of the key. Over the left side with Reddick on the wing. And a jumper is going to go up, looks like by Roby. And it'll be rebounded by the Red Wolves. Right now, 0 for 2 from field goal range for the Cougars. The Red Wolves 0 for 1. Here's the three-pointer by Jason Ray. This one's good.
Jason Ray's the kind of player I really like. He's that stretch 4 player. When you have Brad Hunt, he's that stretch 4 player. And you don't see a lot of big guys hitting that three-pointer, but he can knock it down. That really helps out everybody on the floor. It spaces out the floor and opens up the middle for Brad or any kind of cutter. And he's just a great player. That's what you like to see.
Right now, the Red Wolves, the only team on the board with a 3-0 lead. And literally, if you look at the scoreboard on here, literally the only team on the board, because there is not a score at all, not even 0.
They're not even going to give them any kind of credit. So, they haven't even showed up, it looks like, yet.
8:19 to play here in the first half. There's a turnover on the Cougars. Claypool has the ball over on the left side. Ray fakes the three-pointer, drives it inside this time, misses the layup, rebounded by Medley.
Though he couldn't finish at the rim, that three-pointer that he hit earlier, that's really going to make the defense respect him, and that pump fake really opened up the drive. Though he couldn't make it, that's probably a basket he's going to be worried about, but he needs to keep that up, because that was a great pump fake, and it's just going to open up the rest of the game for him.
There's a three-point shot out top, missed by Roby. It was rebounded, and the foul's actually going to go against Jordy Moss.
One thing I noticed about this team, different from last year's team, is they play with a lot of energy. You see players on the floor, not only the players on the floor getting really excited about even one little stop here, one big stop there, but you see the players on the bench as well. They all stand up on a big stop or a big play, and that's what you like to see. You like to see this team play with a lot of emotion. Even just one stop is a big stop for them. Every stop's a big stop.
Well, on the right side, here's a three-point shot out side by Roby, missed again. He's 0 for 2 from three-point range now. It's going to be out of bounds to Red Wolf basketball.
You're going to see the Cougars take a lot of threes today. They're comfortable making that shot, and they can definitely make that shot. And so Red Wolves got to close out, and they hit an open shot there, and it was still early in the shot clock, but I think the Red Wolves need to do a little better job at closing out, but they benefited from him missing the shot.
Red Wolves get the ball inbounds. Shot clock at 30 when they finally cross. Tried to find Brad Hunt underneath, and he wasn't quite ready for the ball, so it's going to be out of bounds Cougar basketball.
He had Brad open. I mean, it's a tough pass to make, but it's just a little low for the tall, the 6'9" Brad Hunt. It's tough for him to get down and corral that pass.
All over on the left wing right now with the Cougars trying to pass inside here to Roby, and it's going to be out of bounds. No foul on the play that time. Kind of looked like he got hit hard going on the way up, but no foul called. Cougar basketball underneath right now.
Refs looks like they're going to let him play. I mean, I like to see them play. Let him play a little being a little rough. You don't want him to get too rough. You want just the safety of the players. You want the refs to call it safe. But if they're going to call it consistent, then that's only the best thing you can ask for.
And the Cougars now have the lead. The basket by Josh Ashwell that time. Last one by Reddick. Right now, the Red Wolves just can't get the ball past the free throw line trying to go back.
Right now, Red Wolves struggling with this full court defense that the Cougars are bringing up. It seems like they're doing the same thing every time they're inbound to Houston and going just to the Jacoby. That's too predictable for the Red Wolves. They need to mix things up a little bit.
Foul goes against Houston Clark. His first, team's first on the Red Wolves. That's going to put Medley at the line to shoot 2. First one's good.
This Medley, he's a ball player. Just looking at the stats, like you mentioned earlier, he just leads in all major stats for the team in rebounds, assists, points, and even steals. So he's just a good ball player. We really got to focus in on him on both ends of the floor.
Second of the pair, no good. Right now the Cougars with the 5-3 lead. Claypool with the ball out on top. Bangman drives the lane, kicks out to Hunt, who shoots just inside the three-point arc. It'll be no good by Brad Hunt.
Brad can make that shot, although I would like to see them bring it in or maybe think of a different shot. I mean, he was open for a little bit, but I don't want him to lose his confidence in that shot, but you also need to find the best possible shot so you can get some points on the board.
Fangman keeps it alive inside. Ooh. They're going to call him out of bounds. You heard Derek ooh there. That was really close from here.
It's a tough call from over here. And I'm sure you got it right. It's just a great play, and you hate to see it get called back on like a fraction of the shoe on the line.
16-12 to play in the first half. Cougars with the 5-3 lead over the Red Wolves.
That's a good trap right there. Forced a bad turnover for the Cougars.
Houston Clark with the ball. Takes it down the left side of the floor. Passes inside to Hunt. Hunt puts one up. This one's no good. And Jason Ray almost got it. And missed underneath by Patrick Lucas. Rebounded by the Red Wolves. 15:42 to play.
There's been some big additions to this team from last year's team. I mean, we got 2 freshmen already starting with Brad Hunt and Jacoby, both on opposite parts of the starting lineup where you got the point guard and the center. And Brad really adds that height that we were missing from last year, grabbing defensive and offensive rebounds. And then another big addition, although it's not a huge, you can't really count as addition, is Huey. He didn't get to play at all last year with the injuries, and he's just been a great player so far this year. And it's almost a whole new ball team from last year.
Still a 5-3 lead for the Cougars with 15-13 to play, Ball out on top. And three-point shot by Reddick goes up and no good once again. He's 0 for 2 from three-point range. And the Red Wolves get the rebound. Claypool has the ball, crosses the half-court line inside the circle. Over on the left side. There's a three-point shot by Clark, and they're going to count it as a 2. Ties it up at 5.
That's a big play by Houston, although it's a tough shot to take. I mean, he can make that shot, and so if he's comfortable with that, just keep going to that. I mean, I'd like to see a different play. It's kind of a tough shot, but it's a great result.
Here's Houston once again. They're going to call a foul. This one's going to be before the shot, I do believe.
It's a tough call for the ref to make. If it's tough if was he in the shooting motion or not? It's tough call to make. I think they made the right call there.
A foul's on Reddick, his first, team second on the Cougars. 14:29 to play in the first half. 2 team fouls on the Cougars. Right now the Red Wolves inbound the ball to Hunt. He goes up, slams it, and takes a 7-5 lead for the Red Wolves.
That's a big play. That's a big dunk, and it's going to get the whole team going. You see Brad, he's just an energy bunny down there, man. He just gets everybody going, gets the bench going. He gets another rebound right there. That's just huge for the team.
3-point shot over on the left side, missed by Trayvon. Here's the Red Wolves. Over into the corner to Claypool. Claypool kicks back out to Hunt. And across court. And here's a 3-point shot over in the right corner, missed by Dom Williams. Red Wolves with a 2-point lead, 7-5, 13:47 to play. Ball's in the right corner. Pass inside.
You've seen the Red Wolves playing a lot of like trap defense. If they get a guy in the corner, they're gonna really collapse on him and try to force a big turnover. So it's gonna leave a guy open, but it also forces the offense to make a tough play.
And nice move there by Fingman. He's now 1 for 3 tonight as the Red Wolves take a 9-7 lead.
He's one of those guys that you can put the ball in his hands and you can really trust him to score from almost anywhere in the court. He's a great ball player.
Here's Jason Ray. He almost kept it down. There's another one of those, Derek.
It's tough hustle play. And I mean, even if they did call it in, I think he inbounded it back to the wrong team. But I mean, it's just you like to see that hustle. It gets everybody going, and that's just the kind of play that Mark Hester likes to see from his players.
Right now the Cougars cross the half-court line, trailing by 2 with 13:09 to play. Ball on the right side.
I mentioned earlier, the difference from last year's team is the height. Like we're really missing Houston, who he's not the tallest player. He's pretty tall, but he's not the tallest player on the team, but he gets a lot of rebounds. And last year we had trouble rebounding the ball. And with guys like Josh, we got Brad. And now Houston's back. It's just a whole new ball team now that we got some height and we can actually rebound on defense and offensive end.
Shot from way outside by Fagman gives a 12-7 lead to the Red Wolves. It's a good 23-24 footer that time by Fagman.
He's just in range. As soon as he steps in the building, the other defense got to be ready for that. He's a sharpshooter, and once he gets going, it's tough to stop.
Right now, Reddick hurting the Cougars on the shooting end of things right now. 0 for 3 from three-point range. Only 1 for 2 from field goal range with 12:10 to play in the first half. And Price is going to be fouled on the way up. He'll go to the line, shoot 2. That's 3 team fouls now on the Cougars. The foul goes against Patrick Lucas. That's his first, once again, team's third on the Cougars. Price will see the line for the first time tonight. First free throw up and off the back of the rim. No good.
That's one thing I've noticed too. Our free throw percentages, I'm really nitpicky when it comes to free throws, as you know, but our free throw percentages aren't awful, but they're not great. But I mean, they can always be better, and that's just something that you can work out in the at practice or on your own at any time. And that's, I mean, you hate to see low percentages.
12:05 to play. Second free throw by Price. Rattles out, no good. 12-7 with 12 minutes to play. Here's the Cougars on the offensive end. Right now Medley with the ball. Out on top, crosses over, goes right, takes it up the lane. This one's going to be blocked, no good. And the Red Wolves have the ball. Here's Fangman. Nice fake, and this one's no good.
That's one you got to get. But that was 2 good plays on Josh right there, where they had the pick up top, and his man set the screen, and he came out and bumped him a little farther out, so the guy couldn't roll. And then he gets back on defense, and when they pass him in, he gets the block. It's just 2 big plays by Josh on defensive end.
Still 12-7. Red Wolves up by 5. 11:20 to play. 3-point shot over in the corner. It's going to be missed.
Missed everything. And right now, Red Bulls doing a great job at, it sounds like the game plan Mark said was don't let them shoot threes, and so far they haven't made one yet, and they're doing a great job at stopping Cougars from doing what they do best.
And shot was missed by Henderson. Here's Bolenbacher. This one's no good from 2-point range. Three-pointer missed by Schmitz. right now, really, both teams just struggling with getting the ball to connect right now.
Yeah, they're kind of both teams struggling from beyond the arc, although the Red Wolves got 2 3-pointers. I mean, you'd like to see some plays at the rim, and even then, the ball's just not going on. I think they need to take the lid off both baskets at the point.
Foul on the play with 10:33 to go. The foul goes against Devin Smits, and that's the team's 4th on Mount Vernon Nazarene. So the Red Wolves are up 12-7 with 10:33 to play. We'll be right back with more IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Hello, I'm Caleb Gillock, the host of Inside IU East Sports, a show where we talk with coaches, players, and other guests about what's happening with IU East athletics.
In the top 100 high school seniors.
Last year we were fortunate enough to do a variety of things on the track and then off to be able to be considered.
Make sure to join us on Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. on WETV Channel 20. And welcome back to IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Red Wolves with a 5-point lead, 12-7 with 10:33 to play. The Red Wolves will be going to the line. I do believe there was a foul on the play before we went to break. And now this is just going to be an out-of-bounds foul. The foul is on Joey Schmitz off of the Cougars. Right now, Mount Vernon Nazarene with 14 fouls. The Red Wolves only with 1. With 10:27 to play. And on Sunday at the women's game against Heidelberg, we were in almost the double bonus by this point.
Exactly.
So
it's a bit of an opposite situation in this game. I mean, you see a couple fouls on Cougar side, but right now there's like only 1 foul on the Red Wolves, and that's what you'd like to see.
A missed 3-pointer out top on the other end before they came down for this one by Bolenbacher. And a tough play down here in front of the IU East bench. 12-7 with 10:10 to play.
Defense has been a big struggle in the past years for the Red Wolves, and this year it's almost a complete 180-degree turn. I mean, you see the Red Wolves playing great defense, only 7 points given up in 10 minutes. That's amazing. Although there's a bit of offensive struggles on both teams, it's just you got to give credit to both defenses. They're both playing really great defense.
Turn around there by Jordy Moss. Moss actually from Barcelona, Spain.
Oh, the Spaniard.
12-9 with 9:45 to play. Price, no good. And here's the Cougars on the offensive end.
What you're going to see from the Red Wolves, too, I mentioned this earlier, they're going to play a lot of team basketball, and that means they're going to get a lot of players off the bench involved, too. They're not going to go with the 7-man lineup. They're going to get almost 10, 11, 12 guys out there playing basketball today, and that's what you like to see. You like to see all players get involved. It's good basketball.
Reddick finds an open lane that time. He'll be fouled on the way up. And the foul's going to go against Lucas Huffman. That's his first, team second on the Red Wolves. And that puts Reddick at the line to shoot 2. First one's good. Makes it 12-10. And second of the 2 is good for Reddick as well.
You got to give credit to Mark Kester and company, getting great recruiting class this year. Where you got 2 freshmen starting, and you get another 2 freshmen that are just playing great basketball. They play major minutes. I mean, like I said, they all play major minutes, but these 4 freshmen really bring a whole new identity to this team, and it's so far it's been a good identity.
Here's Hunt. This one's going to go in. Hunt now with 4 points in tonight's matchup. 14-11 with 8:43 to play.
And Brad really brings that tall, like the height that we really needed in past years, and he's a big guy down there. He's going to play good defense and offense. He's going to get us a lot of looks on the offensive end.
Moss is going to be fouled on the way up. This one's going to go against Brad Hunt. That's his first, team's third on the Red Wolves.
On the line for the Cougars, number 33, Jordy Moss.
8:34 to play. Jordy Moss at the line. And the first one's going to be good for the starter from Spain.
Clark back in the game for the Red Wolves.
Houston Clark back in for IU East.
Another thing I've noticed in this team, too, is they got a lot of guys that can handle the ball. You got Nick Bolenbacher, you got Vache Davis who can also handle the ball, and then you got Jacoby who starts. And then even other guys, there's Matt Warner on the bench right now, but you got Tyler Fangman who can also handle the ball. Right now you don't always have to put the ball in one guy's hands and bring it down the court. You can always you can mix things up, and it's a good balance on the team.
Houston Clark over on the left side, trying to get in the lane, passes out to Bolenbacher. And that's one by Vache up and no good from three-point range. Here's Bolenbacher. He's going to take a try at it. No good.
Though Bolenbacher, he passed up that open three he had earlier. He gave one more pass, which led to another pass, and they really found a really open three, which is they found the better shot. Though it didn't go in, it was a good little team ball right there, passing up a shot for another open shot.
Right now on top with the ball is Roby. Reddick with the ball now, and back over to Roby. He's going to put up a jumper, and this one's going to be good for him.
You see Cougars starting to make some of their baskets. They struggled early, and you got to give credit to the defense there, but they're really starting to make their shots now. So it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a little bit of a battle for both teams.
Tied up at 14, 7:30 to play. And that's going to put Houston Clark at the line for two as the Cougars commit their fifth team foul. It's Moss's second personal foul. Team's fifth on the Cougars.
Saw a really nice cut there from Houston and an even better pass from Nick Bolenbacher. He really put it right where it needed to be, and Houston, though he didn't make the shot, he got fouled, and it's getting right to charity stripe.
First free throw there by Houston Clark is good. See if he can get the second one to go 2 for 2 at the line, and this one's going to go off the rim, no good. Probably shouldn't have said anything there.
I don't know. I jinxed him, but I think he's going to blame that one on you when he watches the film.
7:15 to play. As Ashwell goes to the inside. Doesn't get the call underneath the basket. Kicks back out to Reddick. And driving lane that time is Martel Medley.
As soon as that ball hit Medley's hands, I saw it in his eye. He said, "I'm gonna score this basketball. I'm gonna take it to the hoop," and he really did. I mean, he's a great ball player. We gotta find a way to stop him.
Bolenbacher with the ball out in the corner, out top. Now Jason Ray with the ball on top of the key, goes to the left side, gives it to Houston Clark. Now Vache with the ball in the corner. Houston Clark. That's the turnaround.
That's a nice little fundamental play right there. You saw a lot of ball movement before the ball got into Houston's hands. He had a little bit of an isolation. There's only one guy on him, and he just went to work, and he got the 2 points.
Clark is 2 for 2. And the Red Wolves have a 1-point deficit now after the basket there by Reddick.
Houston, he's been a great addition from last year's team on both the offense and defense ends. He's got, I think, a block or two, and he's got his hands on the ball on the defensive end. He's already got 5 points as well.
And the official at the far end of the floor is going to call the travel.
That's one of those calls where, like, why is this guy making the call when there's a guy right under the basket who saws that? I mean, you got to trust the official's judgment, but I mean, I think if the other ref that had a better view, it seemed like that didn't call it. It's just that raises a few question marks.
Yep. Cougars with the ball. There's Reddick. And he's going to pass inside to Patrick, who will score. Lucas Patrick now has 2 for 3 shooting, 4 points.
Cougars really putting a lot of pressure on the Red Bulls right now with that full court pressure, and Houston makes a nice move to get the basket. It's kind of causing a couple problems, but it looks like so far we're kind of handling it pretty well.
Clark is 3 for 3. He had 6 points in this matchup with 5:30 to play. Red Wolves down by 1. Ball out top right now with Medley. Now it's over on the right side with Ashwell. Back out top with Medley. Almost stolen away there by Jacoby Claypool. And here's Medley. This one's going to be no good. It'll be tipped out of bounds off of Houston.
Seems like the Red Wolves players are never agreeing with any of the calls that the officials making. I mean, it looked like it might have been off the Red Wolves there, but I mean, we gotta quit complaining and maybe just play some basketball.
Right. All right. Well, IU East trails by 1, 19-20 with 5:08 to play. We'll be right back with more IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network right after this.
This is where a busy mom can work toward a bachelor's degree from a top national university during softball practice. It's where a service member can continue his college studies from anywhere in the world, and where you'll benefit from one of the country's most effectively delivered online programs.
Woohoo!
So, if you've ever wondered if a college education is really worth it, this is where you'll see that it is. This is Indiana University East Online.
And welcome back to IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. I'm Caleb Gillock along with Derek Blank. Right now the Red Wolves trail by 1 with 5:08 to go in the first half. Scores 20-19. Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars have the 1-point lead. They will inbound the ball with 6 seconds left on the shot clock. So have to get the ball in and a shot off quick. It's going to be out top with Reddick. Reddick puts up a 3. This is off the front end. Rebounded by Houston Clark.
These last 5 minutes are going to be really big for not only the Red Wolves but both teams. So it really, how they play these last 5 minutes going into the second half is really going to set the tone for how they play in the second half. And depending on if they see something that works in these last 5 minutes or something that isn't working, that's really going to set the tone for the next half.
3-point shot out top by Eric Roby is good, and that makes the lead 23-19 now for the Cougars. Here's Houston Clark with the ball. Now Hunt has it on the left elbow. Makes a turnaround, no good. Rebounded by Houston, and this one's good.
I mentioned earlier about all the ball handlers we got. I forgot to mention Houston Clark, even the really tall forward is bringing the ball down the court, and he seems like he's doing it all, scoring, rebounding, and making plays.
23-21, Red Wolves down by 1 basket. And here is Lucas. He's going to miss one. The Red Wolf basketball. Lucas now 2 for 4 from field goal range.
Red Wolves doing a good job defending at the rim. They're keeping their hands up, going straight up, and they're not fouling, but they're definitely contesting the ball, and it's making it difficult for their Cougars.
So it's going to be out of bounds off of Fangman. It'll be Cougar basketball, 3:56 to play. Brad Hunt comes out. And Josh Price back in for IU East.
Man, that's just got to be great for Hester. He just subs one 6'9" guy out, and he brings in another 6'9" guy. They can't go wrong, it seems like.
Not too many coaches can say
No,
they
you
do
can't. That's I mean, great availability for 2 freshmen as well, so that's great.
Houston gets the steal, gives it to Jacoby Claypool. He takes it to the other end of the floor and lays it in. And Jacoby Claypool now 1 for 1. Ties it up at 23 with 3:33 to play.
That's something Claypool doesn't do often, though. You got the point on the fast break. He's really just a great team player. He's a distributor first and then score second. And the fast break, obviously, you want to see him score the basketball.
Shot missed by Smits. And rebounded by the Red Wolves. Here's Claypool once again. This one's going to be missed. And Claypool has the ball. Fangman with the 3. This one's good.
I mentioned earlier, he's a sharpshooter outside. He's a sniper. Once he steps foot in this building, he's in range. They should be guarding him.
2 for 2 from 3-point range. 26-23, 2:53 to play. And here's Reddick. Out top now with Ashwell. And the 3-point there by Reddick is good. He's only 1 for 5 from 3-point range right now.
Right now you're seeing the Cougars start making some of their threes, and this is what they've been doing all year. So Red Bulls really got to do a little better job at closing out, and don't give them that open three. Make them try to do something else.
Claypool with the ball over on the right side. Passes down low. Now back out top with Jason Ray. Ray puts up the three, 29-26.
There's a stretch four. That's one of my favorite positions in basketball. The guy who's the forward position or even a five position, and he can stretch the floor and really space out the middle and also make defenses keep them honest with that three-point shot.
Ray and Clark both 2 for 2 from three-point range, almost stolen away there by Claypool. Red Wolves with a 3-point lead, 1:53 to play.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier the Cougars a three-point team, but you see the Red Bulls making their own three-pointers as well.
And three-point shot there by Roby will be taken with 7 seconds left on the shot clock. And 1:39 to play. A timeout taken here by Mount Vernon Nazarene. They're going to take a 30. We'll take a quick timeout as well. We'll be right back with more IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. And welcome back to IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. IU East up 29-26 with 1:39 to play. Mount Vernon Nazarene will inbound the ball with 31 seconds left on the shot clock. It's over in the left corner now. They just took a 30-second timeout before we went to break. Now it's over in the corner. Now with Medley on the right wing. Tried to pass inside and find Lucas Patrick, but no good.
I like the expression Trey Boyd had there when he got the ball. He thought the player was out, and when he heard no whistle, he's like, oh, I better take off then because the play was live.
Foul on number 1, Martel Medley.
Foul goes against Medley, his first, team 6th on the Cougars. 1:11 to play. Red Wolves up 29-26. And we have a whistle down on the floor.
I think he's just going to give him a free retry. I don't know what that was.
And now the game clock back in order. And there's Jason Ray underneath. He missed. And Josh Price can't get the rebound for the putback.
Jason seems to be a little hurt. And that was a great pass from Trey. I mean, it looked like he was staring him down. I thought he wasn't going to throw it because I thought he wasn't open. He found a way to squeeze that ball in.
Shot by Medley goes in. And 29-28, under 45 seconds to play. Fangman thought about taking 3, but they're going to slow things down here. About a 7-second differential right now between the shot clock and game clock. 30 seconds to play. Here's Price underneath, gets his own rebound, and this one goes in for Price.
Yeah, he's just a big body down there. He's tough to defend, even though he missed that first shot. You always got to be ready for him because he's probably going to bring that second shot down, and he really just a big body down low, and he's able to convert into 2.
31-28 lead, 10 seconds to play. Cougars have a chance to tie to go into the half. 3-point shot taken there by Roby is good and ties it up. He's 2 for 5. And the 3-point shot there to try to tie or take the lead before halftime is going to be no good. So we are all tied up here at halftime at 31. Derek, tell us a little bit about the first half.
Well, you look at the scoring on IU East where Tyler Fangman and Houston are the 2 big guys that are usually going to score much. But you see some big plays from other players as well. You see Jason Ray making a couple threes. You see Josh Price getting a couple baskets down low. It's really good team basketball. They're spreading the ball around. They're not going with one player. Right now, Cougars struggled offensively at the beginning, and now it just seems like a barrage of three-pointers from both teams. They're both shooting a lot of threes, and Cougars are getting in their comfort range with that three-point as they struggled early on. But right now, it's a great game as the score shows, 31-31, and I expect even the same for the second half. It's going to be a great game in the second half.
All right, we'll take a quick break and come back with the halftime stats. right back with more IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network.
Dylan Newman had a terrible dislocated shoulder after a bad dirt bike accident. The long-term solution, surgery and intense rehab.
I trusted Reed Orthopedics because they had already fixed my ankle. And within 4 months of my surgery, Dr. Miller and my Reed therapist, April, helped me to regain my motion and most of my strength. Thanks to Reed Ortho, I can get back to what I love. It's all about trust. Right, Dr. Miller?
Right here at Reed.
Right here in Richmond.
I'm Dr. Ganesh Ramachandran, the region's only hand specialist at Reed Orthopedic Center. Patients love how easy it is having everything under one roof and how easy it is to get here. Right here at Reed Orthopedic Center, right here in Richmond.
Sometimes I think the fates must grin as we denounce and insist. The only reason we can't win is the fates themselves that miss. Yet there lives on an ancient claim, we win or lose within ourselves. The shiny trophies on our shelves can never win tomorrow's game. You and I know deeper down, there's always a chance to win the crown. But when we fail to give our best, we simply haven't met the test of giving all and saving none until the game is really won. Of showing what is meant by grit, of fighting on when others quit, of playing through, not letting up. It's bearing down that wins the cup, of taking it and taking more, and a winning score, of dreaming there's a goal ahead, of hoping when our dreams are dead, of praying when our hopes have fled, yet losing, not afraid to fall if bravely we have given all. For who can ask more of a man than giving all within his span? Giving all, it seems to me, is not so far from victory. And so the fates are seldom wrong, no matter how they twist and wind. It is you and I who make our fates. We open up or close the gates, on the road ahead or the road behind.
And welcome back to IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. We're all tied up here at halftime in the Tiernan Center at 31. Let's take a look at scoring for the two teams. Mount Vernon Nazarene leading the way in scoring for them was Brian Reddick with 9 points. Eric Roby had 8. Also, Martel Medley, he had 5. 4 points for Patrick Lucas, 2 points for Josh Ashwell, and 3 points for Jordy Moss for the Cougars. For the Red Wolves, leading the way in scoring for IU East, also with 9 points, Houston Clark. He has 9. Also, Tyler Fangman with 8. With 4 points for the Red Wolves, Brad Hunt, and 2 points for IU East, Jacoby Claypool, and also Josh Price, all scoring for the Red Wolves. And that gives us 31 points for each team here at halftime. For field goal percentage, the Red Wolves shot 13 of 31 for a .419 average, and from three-point range, 4 for 9 with a .444 three-point average in the first half. Red Wolves only shot 1 for 4 from the line, which gave them a .250 free throw percentage in the first half. For the Cougars, in field goal percentage in the first half, 12 of 37, .324. So trailing the Red Wolves a little bit there with field goal percentage. From three-point range, 3 for 12, giving them 250. Also a lower percentage than the Red Wolves. And total free throw percentage, they shot 4 for 6 for a 667 free throw percentage in the first half, higher than the Red Wolves. They only shot 250 from the free throw line. We'll be back here in about 7 minutes with the second half of IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. And welcome back to IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. I'm Caleb Gillock, and joining me is Derek Blank. Derek, we're all tied up at 31 at the half. Shooting seemed to be problems for both teams in the first half. What do you expect to see here in the second half?
Yeah, you look at the shooting percentages on both teams, and not exactly where you want them to be by any means. But not only is the score even and the bad shooting percentages are even, but like almost all the stats I'm looking at are really even. They got total rebounds. Although the Red Wolves probably don't want to see them down 6 in the rebound margin, it isn't terrible, and so they're all right. But like assists, Red Wolves only have one more assist than them with 6 to 5. Turnovers, both at 6. It's just an even game, both how they're playing on the scoreboard and even statistically. It's just great basketball, and you can't ask for anything more.
Well, no alternating possessions in the first half. And the Red Wolves will get it to open things up here in the second half. Jason Ray with the ball over on the right wing. Here is Ray. He lays this one in to get the Red Wolves off to a great start. 33-31.
Yeah, that's the kind of start you want to see. You want to see an early basket. Now you need to see a big stop for them. And it's always about this big start. You want to be playing from while you're ahead and not from behind, because you just play different basketball when you're behind.
Here's Medley. He's going to try to pass inside to Moss. Moss scores. Moss 2 for 2 from field goal range, only 1 for 2 from free throw. All tied up at 33. Ball with Fangman out top. Now the ball with Claypool. He goes over to the left side. Brad Hunt tried to set the screen. Can't find him open inside. Here's Jason Ray with a 3 over on the right side. This one's no good by Ray.
I think it's funny. Whenever Tyler Fangman touches the ball, you hear everybody on the bench and the other team, they just yell shooter. They know he's just a great shooter, and they're absolutely right. He's made 2 of his 3-pointers, and I wouldn't be surprised if he hits 2 more, even more than that in his next second half.
Foul goes against Brad Hunt, his second team's first on the Red Wolves. That's going to put Medley at the line for the second time tonight. He is now 1 for 3 at the line. And 1 for 2 in the first half. Hit the first one, missed the second one. And misses this one. Now he's 1 for 4 at the line.
Man, that's just one of those things I'm just really nitpicky about. It comes to free throws, and Red Wolves only made 1 of their 4 free throw attempts in the first half, and they could be up. They could be up a whole possession if they just make all their free throws. But I'm kind of a biased opinion when it comes to that, because I really don't like a bad free throw shooting percentage.
Another nice basket by Jason Ray. That was Medley that time. Medley now has 7 points. Here's Fangman. This one up and in.
That's a nice step-back jumper. That mid-range is kind of a lost art nowadays, where not a lot of players they're either going for the 3 or they're going for the nice, easy layup. But that mid-range point or basket is just worth about just as good as a nice layup. So if you're open, take that shot.
3-point shot out top by Roby. This was good. He is now 3 for 6 from 3-point range.
That's something you don't want the Cougars to get comfortable doing, is hitting them threes, because that's something they do all year. You really got to close out on it, and you just got to make it uncomfortable for them when they're shooting them 3-pointers.
There was Houston Clark for the Red Wolves. He's now 5 for 5. Has 11 points for the Red Wolves as he went 1 for 2 at the line.
I think they're going to give a technical to Houston for. It sounds like he yelled and 1 after he made that basket. I don't think the ref liked it. He's not going to take any of that.
And you were right there, Derek. A technical is called on Houston Clark. He now has 2 personals. And that's the Red Wolves' second team foul.
I don't know if I would give him a technical on that. It's just one of those plays where Houston really just has to be under control. Your players got to be under control. You don't want to cost your player or your team extra points as they're doing right now, and you just got to play smart basketball. It's not about, and I think he's just looking for an energizer, trying to get the team going, but it just cost him 2 points right there as they make both free throws.
And the free throw shooter was Josh Ashwell. Ashwell's a 6'3" sophomore from Dublin, Ohio. And not only did they just get 2 points off of free throws there, they'll get possession of the ball as well.
Yeah, it's a big play. They're getting points when they still get the ball. It's just a big play. I mean, gotta play smarter, and it could get the team going as well. I mean, sometimes you see the coaches get it technical on purpose just to try to get their team going, and so we'll see how they play out after the technical.
The foul goes against Bollenbacher. That's his first, team's third on the Red Wolves. 17:20 to play as the Cougars lead 40-39. And that puts Medley at the line to shoot two. This one's no good for Martell Medley. And it's now 1 for 5 at the line. Second free throw is good. 41-39, 17:15 to play.
Both teams really struggling from the free throw line. Those are points that they're free. That's why they're called free throws. And I mean, I'm going to be talking about this all day, but coming down to the end of the game, I think you could look back at the end of the game. You can look back at free throws, and that could be the difference right there.
Foul goes against Eric Roby. That's his first, team's first, on the 6'7" junior out of Plain City, Ohio. Bollenbacher will inbound the ball to Hunt. Kicks out to Ray. Ray gives the shot fake, passes back into Hunt. He puts up the one-handed shot, and it's going to be out of bounds off of Moss. He seemed to be a little confused on that one.
I mean, those are the kind of plays. Like I keep on talking about this, but these energizer, these like plays that really get the team motivated. And Brad, I know he knew he couldn't really inbound the ball. It'd be a tough pass, and instead he just throws it against the player that wasn't really paying attention, so they get the ball back, and it really gets the team going.
Here's Jason Ray, takes it up the middle. This one's not going to be any good for Ray. Rebounded there by the Cougars. And pass inside to Jordy Moss. He's going to be called for traveling, and we go the other way.
Yeah, you saw, as soon as that ball went inside, you saw 4 guys collapse on him, and he went up for the pump fake, and I saw 3 guys jump up for it, and they got bailed out with the travel there.
Still a 2-point game. Red Wolves down by 2, 41-39, 16:47 to play. And the ball comes down the floor to Fangman. He gets it after it's bobbled by the Cougars. Bollenbacher has the ball. Goes over to Jason Ray. Hands off to Clark. And here's Bollenbacher going down the right side again. He's going to pull up a jumper. And this one will be missed. It'll be tipped out of bounds off Houston Clark.
Both teams are kind of struggling right now with their shooting. I mean, I expect they're getting some good looks here and there, and I expect those shooting percentages to go up. It's just right now they're just not getting the shots to fall, and it could be just a little agitation. Maybe they got a little jitters, but I expect those shooting percentages of both teams will go up here in the second half.
There's the missed shot by Lucas underneath. He is now 2 for 5 from field goal range.
Right now, Brad, he's playing with a lot of energy right now. Even the small things he's doing, grabbing a rebound here or there. And he has a nice mid-range jump right there. He's just playing with a lot of energy, and that's what you like to see. He gets the team going. It doesn't just help himself, but it helps everybody else as well.
Ball now over on the top of the key with out over to the left side with Medley. He tries to go to the lane. He's going to step back and pull up a 3. No good.
Brad with another big rebound there. He's getting a lot of big rebounds. He's playing great basketball right now, and I'd like to keep him in for a couple extra minutes than he's used to. He's just playing good basketball.
And there's going to be a foul on the floor, and that's going to go against the Cougars.
Another thing I'd like to note is it seems like the Red Wolves, if I was coaching, my game plan would be to stop Medley, and so far they're doing just that. He's kind of struggling from the floor and the free throw line. They're doing a great job at making his life difficult right now on the basketball court.
Bollenbacher over to Ray. He puts up the 3. This one off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Fangman. And Red Wolves take a 43-41 lead.
That's something you really like to see is those guards and the guys that are outside the perimeter, not the forwards down low, to come in and get that rebound. And it really helps out. I mean, you get an extra possession right there, and it turns out for extra points as well.
And scoring underneath that time was Patrick Lucas. Ties it up at 43 with 15 minutes to go. And saved there by Fangman, who runs into the scores table. And scored by Houston Clark.
Another big hustle play from the Red Wolves. You see that ball went off Houston's hands, and it looked like it was going out, but Tyler looked like he came out of nowhere, and he put his body on the line right there, throwing himself in the scores table, knocking over the possession arrow scoreboard, and it turned out for 2 extra points for them. And that's just something I'd like to see.
Medley with the basket for the Cougars. Houston Clark has 13 out of his 14 points tonight. The only thing he's missed is 1 free throw. And he's 6 for 6 from field goal range.
Yeah, he's playing a good basketball game, and not only is he playing good basketball, he's playing smart and efficient basketball, getting good looks and converting as well.
And that's going to be a foul.
Foul is on number 20, Jason Ray.
On Jason Ray.
Team's third.
His first, team's third. And a missed shot there by the Cougars. Still tied up at 45 with 14:11 to play.
Big screen there from Jason Ray.
And they're going to call a foul out top away from the ball on Joey Smits. And we have some issues down underneath the basket as well.
Man, it looks like they're going to call a technical on Nick. He got knocked down, and it looked like he got back up, and he kind of stared down the player that knocked him down. He had something to say. I couldn't quite hear what he was saying, but I think they gave him a technical for that. Right now they're not having no leniency right now for anything that's being said in this game.
The technical did go against Bollenbacher that time. So that's 2 technicals on the Red Wolves here in the second half. And right now, the Red Wolves and Coach Hester are just trying to get everything figured out right now. And right now, really, what we need to do most is just kind of regain composure here. You still got 14-10 to play, and this game's far from over, so it's tied up at 45. You don't want to give it away here off of technicals.
Yeah, it seems like they're shooting themselves in the foot right now. It's both the times where plays after the basketball is dead, and they really just gotta like you said, just keep composure. And right now, that after that play was done, and they had the technical was called, the team kind of gathered up around their coach, and Mark Hester did a really good job at just settling the players down. Like, hey, right now we're our biggest enemy. Right now, we just need to go out there and play basketball. And I hope to see that come now. I don't want to see any more technicals.
46-45, the Red Wolves will get the ball because there was a foul called before the technical. So that's why they get the ball off of the technical that time. So it kind of reacts the technical there on that end of things.
Houston had an open Fangman right there right at the bottom of the lane, but Tyler cut without really looking. You got to be ready for the ball because you could be open. I don't think he expected to be open.
Red Wolves down by 1, 46-45 with 13:50 to play. Ball over in the right corner. And trying to make a pass was Lucas. No one there. It's going to be out of bounds Red Wolf basketball with 13:42 to go.
Brad's just playing great basketball right now. I mean, I can't say anything about or anything less about him. He's just on the little plays, like when his man is setting a screen, he comes out and he kind of bumps the guy with the ball out a little bit, so you can't really have a nice switch. And then he gets right back to his man when they dishes it to him, and he forces a turnover there. That's just great basketball on Brad's part. Right now, Red Bulls take a timeout.
Mount Vernon takes a timeout with 13:42 to play. The Red Wolves trail by 1, 46-45. We'll be right back with more IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. And welcome back to IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Right now, the Red Wolves only down by 1, 46-45, 13:42 to play here in the second half. It's going to the Red Wolf basketball. Mount Vernon Nazarene took the timeout on the out-of-bounds play. The ball will be inbounded to Houston Clark. Right now, the Red Wolves with a little bit of pressure by the Cougars. And they'll get the ball across the half-court line with 27 to go. A three-pointer by Fangman, going to be off the mark and rebounded by the Cougars.
I think Fangman was just too open there. He's used to having a guy on him, and I don't know. He just missed the three-pointer. I mean, we all expected that to go in, but I mean, sometimes you can't expect everything. You can't expect him to make every shot, and just one of those shots that you expect to go in.
Three-pointer missed way outside by Schmitz. He's 0 for 2 from three-point range in tonight's matchup. 13:05 to play. Bolenbacher tried to pass inside. It's going to be picked off by Asheville. He's going to take it down to the other end, and it'll be an offensive foul against Asheville.
That's another big play that you like to see from the Red Wolves, is that taking that charge and you're really putting your body on the line. And it's when you see a teammate sacrifice his body and take a charge, that really gets you going. And that's another one of those big motivation plays that you like to see.
So right now, 14 fouls on the Cougars, 5 team fouls on the Red Wolves. Red Wolves with the ball. Here's Bolenbacher, drives down, finds an open lane.
You're starting to see. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
All right, you're starting to see some players on the starting lineup that have been playing a little longer than they're used to, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. If they're playing well, you keep them in, and it's just one of those things that they've been playing where they kind of space out minutes between everybody. And if they're going to keep playing good basketball, I think you keep them in. I think Messer's making the right decision here.
Reddick misses underneath that time, and a three-pointer missed by Schmitz. He's now 0 for 3 at three-point range.
Red Wolves almost got in trouble there, giving up an offensive rebound, and almost turned into 3 extra points for Cougars, but they lucked out there, and they missed the three-pointer and got corralled the defensive board.
Houston misses his first field goal of the night. He's 6 of 7 from field goal range. Three-pointer missed by Roby.
You're seeing these Cougars sticking with that three-point strategy. They're keeping going with the three, and as you see Jason with a nice take to the rim, that's something you like to see.
And after the basket there by Jason Ray, the Red Wolves are up by 3. Coach Hester wants to take his first time out of the game. We'll be right back with more IU East Men's Basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Welcome back to IU East Men's Basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. After a layup there by Jason Ray, the Red Wolves are now up 49-46 with 11:47 to play here in the second half. Cougars bring the ball up the floor and have it over on the right side. And now they take it out to the top right corner. Over on the left side with Medley, pass inside to Lucas, and he's going to make a turnaround. No good off the mark, rebounded there by Fangman.
You see, I don't know if Jason Ray, Tyler Fangman, Brad Hunt, and excuse me, I was going to say Houston Clark, but he's out now. But I don't think those 3 guys have gotten out yet, and they're all 3 playing good basketball. Jason's made a couple of big shots. Tyler Fangman's made a couple of big shots. Brad's just playing great basketball all around. I mean, I agree with you want to keep him in, but at some point you also got to give him a little breather because you're going to need him down the stretch as well.
Bolenbacher gets blocked on the way up. It'll be out of bounds. IU East basketball. With 11:05 to play here in the second half.
one thing I'd like to mention too is during, not the last time out, but the first time out, that was the time out right after the technical foul was called recently. I saw Coach Hester. He was really getting at his plays, showed a lot of emotion, and that's something you'd like to see out of your coach. He really cares about this game, and he doesn't want them to just shoot themselves in the foot like they have been. Like, they're the biggest enemy right now is just themselves. They got to play smart basketball, and they've been playing good on the defensive end as they get another stop there. They just got to play better basketball and smart basketball. You don't want to give up too many easy free points for the other team.
Foul goes against Medley. It's going to be an offensive foul against him. That's his second, team's fifth on the Cougars. And makes it 49-46 with 10:45 to play here in the second half. Now Williams brings the ball up the floor, finds Fangman. Fangman takes it to the basket and one for the Red Wolves.
I know it's not a huge lead right now, but right now they're up 5, and this has probably been one of their biggest leads they've had all night. And I mean, when you're playing from ahead, and I mentioned this earlier, that when you're not playing from behind, you're playing from ahead. You say you're in your comfort zone, and you don't want to be playing from behind, kind of with that sense of urgency. Right now, they're playing good basketball and they're playing smart basketball. While you're ahead, you're in your comfort zone. I can't express that enough.
51-46. Fingman goes to the line for the Red Wolves. He'll shoot one. He's not been to the stripe yet tonight. First one off the rim, no good. And it's going to be over the back called on Fingman.
Foul was on number 2, Tyler Fangman.
Hey, there's a missed free throw. I mean, I'm not even going to go into the free throw part, but he kind of made a dumb play after that, kind of going. I like the aggressiveness going after the ball, but you got to be smart when you play aggressive, and he caused the foul there. And now they got 6 fouls, 1 away from the bonus.
51-46, 10:31 to play. And Bentley has the ball out on top of the key, over to the right wing. Three-point shot goes up and in by Reddick.
That's been one of the few bright spots today this half, late in this half for the Cougars, is making that three-pointer. And you don't want to see them get going right now. You got to keep playing good defense, stick with your game plan, and really close out in that three-point shot and force them to make a different play.
Down on the other end right now, Bentley with the ball. Driving the lane is going to be Roby. He now has 4 points and field goals tonight. And about 13 in the game. Tied up at 51 with 9:47 to play. Here's the Red Wolves. This is going to be a foul called against the Cougars. It's going to be their 7th team foul. The foul goes against Roby. That's his second. And it's going to put the Red Wolves in the bonus for the remainder of the game with 9:44 to play.
Yeah, that was a good aggressive play from Fangman to drive to the basket. I don't know if he was aware of the scoreboard. I'd like to think he was aware that they had 6 team fouls in the other team, and really attacking the basket. And he could have had an open player dish out to, but he really forced the other team to make a foul. And right now they're in the bonus. So he didn't make the free throw, but for the rest of the game they're going to be at least in the single bonus and maybe later in the double bonus.
Fangman now 0 for 2 at the line with 9:35 to play. Tied up at 51 here in the second half. Ball over on the right side with Reddick. Kicks it out top to Asheville. And a basket underneath there by Reddick.
You saw 2 guys right there kind of go for the block, and that really let the open man on the offensive board get a nice easy basket there for the follow-up.
And there's a missed layup by Vaughn.
That was a big rebound from Fangman. I thought it was going to happen again where they got another offensive rebound, but he really went up for that board and brought it down to keep them going on the offensive end.
Here's Houston Clark in the middle of the lane. He makes a turnaround. He's going to miss this one. Both of Clark's missed shots from field goal range in the game have been here in the second half. An air ball out there by Medley. And Cougars still have a 2-point lead, 53-51. Vache Davis comes back in for IU East. Ball's inbounded to Clark. Shot clock at 32. Let's get something going here as they cross the half-court line.
Medley really struggling today for the Cougars, and I think that was the game plan for the Red Wolves, is to stop him, and he's been out of his comfort zone, it seems like, all day. And I think right now they're playing good basketball. They're down 2 right now. They're still playing good basketball. Stick with the game plan, and good things will happen, I think.
53-51, 8:12 to play. Here comes the ball down the floor with Asheville. Eight minutes to go on the scoreboard here inside the Tiernan Center. Red Wolves down by 2, stolen away by Houston Clark. He's going to pass over to Fangman, and Fangman's going to miss that one. Excuse me, that's not Tyler Fangman. That's going to be Lucas Huffman.
Yeah, you saw Houston make it wasn't his man that he stole the ball from, but he kind of went off his man to get that steal, which is a good play. And they had a 2-on-1. You'd really like to see him convert there, although they didn't.
Here's Bolenbacher with the ball over on the right wing. 7:40 to go in the second half. And that's going to be foul on the arm against the Cougars.
Foul was on number 15, Trey Vaughn.
Another smart play there. I saw Vache. He gave up an open 3. I mean, I think he could have hit that shot, and he saw his man start to leave his feet, and that's when he went with the pump fake, and he drove, and he forced another man to go off their man, and it caused the foul. Now he's at the charity stripe.
Fouls on Vaughn. Davis goes to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. First free throw for Vache is good. Vache only has 1 point tonight. The 6'3 junior out of Hammond, Indiana, went to Morton High School. Second free throw good for Vache.
Vache's been known, I saw in the past years, he's been known to make his free throws, and that automatically makes him high on my list because I really like free throws. And that's what you like to see when you get two changes at the free throw line to convert both of them, and now you tie the game.
Ash will take it up the lane that time. A 3-point shot missed by Roby. And Roby is only 3 for 8 from 3-point range. Houston Clark gets a basket that time for the Red Wolves. Makes it 55-53, 7 minutes on the scoreboard. Medley with the ball out top. Passes over to Schmitz. He puts up a 3 and scores.
You know, I got to give credit to the Cougars there. That was a big play. They had a bit of a double team at the top of the perimeter, and he looked down low, so Vache had to leave his man, and right at the last second he passed to the perimeter man, which Vache was guarding, and that's a tough play because he ended up making the 3.
Right. And the layup by Medley's no good. And one goes up underneath there by Ashwell, no good either. Ashwell's 1 for 3 from field goal range, 6:17 to play. The Red Wolves trail by 1.
Yeah, I saw Houston on the fast break. He really got back in defense and made that layup difficult for Medley, and it was a nice job. They ended up get that offensive rebound. A nice job to make another big stop, and Lucas got another rebound, which he's done at least a couple times now.
Dom Williams scored for the Red Wolves. A missed basket there by Schmitz. And right now, Cougar fans and coaches a little upset with there not being an over-the-back call that time.
Yeah, there's a lot of amateur officials out here in the stands, but I think so far the refs made a couple tough calls, but I think they're making the right calls as well.
Red Wolves up by 1, 57-56. Ball over with Medley. He takes it to the lane, kicks back out.
It's a big stop, big defensive stop right there from Bolenbacher, just staying on his feet and making Medley. He has a drove to the basket. It makes him have to pass out because he didn't have a shot. That was great defense by Bolenbacher.
And there's going to be a foul on the play as the Red Wolves were trying to inbound the ball. This one's going to go against Joey Schmitz. It's going to be his second, team's 9th on the Cougars.
It looked like they gave the foul on Red Wolves on the scoreboard. I hope they can fix that because that instantly puts us in the bonus.
Right. The foul hasn't been announced yet, and there has been several times I've seen double fouls called. But there's not been a 9th team foul added yet.
Oh, he's at the free throw line, so it's got to be a foul somewhere.
So Clark at the line. First free throw of the 1-and-1, up and in for Houston. Houston's now 2 for 3 at the line. Ties it up at 58. Chance to take a 1-point lead here with 5:16 to go. And the second of the two goes up and in for Houston. And that's going to make it 59-58.
Houston just played a big stretch of minutes right there where he played really good basketball on both ends, and he's going to get a breather here, but I expect him to go in with the next minute or two just to close out the game because you really need him on the floor.
Had some questions and scoring over here at the scorers table with a 1-point lead for the Red Wolves. Checking to make sure the foul count was correct. I believe that it is correct now on the scoreboard, Derek.
Yeah, they fixed it. I was all worried about that. I'm glad they fixed it.
Nine-team fouls on the Cougars, 6 on the Red Wolves. And a jumper there by Patrick Lucas.
You know, that's a shot you can live with. It's their big man, and though we have a couple big men that can stretch the floor, if a big man is coming outside the paint to score and not inside the paint, that's something you can live with. And if he makes it, you gotta go in and just go on down the floor and be ready to play offense.
There's Vache Davis with a three out top for the Red Wolves. Gives them a 2-point lead, 62-60, the largest lead that either team has had in nearly 5 minutes. And there's going to tie things up by Brian Reddick. All at 62 with 4:22 to play. So we do have a timeout taken down on the floor by Mount Vernon. We'll be right back with more IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. And welcome back to IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. All tied up at 62 here at the Tiernan Center with 4:22 to play. 9-team fouls on the Cougars, 16 fouls on the Red Wolves. IU East will take the ball out of bounds after a 30-second timeout was called by the Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars. Still some questions over at the scorers table. It's going to... Right now there's a little bit of discussion between one of the officials and Coach Mark Hester. And this is one of the deals where I wish we were down at the scorers table, Derek, where we'd have a little bit of an idea what was going on.
You know, I mean, we got some prime seats up here.
Yeah.
We got some nosebleeds up here, but you know what? It's all right that we can't hear. I mean, we wish we could, but you know what? We got to live with them. I think that just makes us look better that we can get these calls on.
Bollenbacher with the ball inside to Hunt. Hunt turns around and puts this one up. No good, gets his own rebound, and he'll be fouled on the way up this time.
Yeah, Brad, he had a good look, and though he didn't make it, I like how he fouled his shot and just you stick with it, and he drew the foul in the second play, and he lost his mouthpiece, actually, and I think it's a little gross he's going to put it back in his mouth, but you know what? He's just out there playing tough basketball.
First free throw there by Hunt is good. That's his first time at the line tonight. 63-62. The Red Wolves now in the double bonus after the foul was on Lucas. And the second free throw no good there for Brad Hunt. And it's going to be taken out of bounds.
Yeah, Brad's had a couple of big rebounds on both ends. You see the offensive board right there, and he's had a lot of nice defensive boards as well, and he's just playing good basketball. And his future is bright. As a freshman, he's got a bright future.
Underneath that time for the Cougars was Patrick Lucas. Lucas now has 10 points for the Cougars as they have a 1-point lead, 64-63.
I mentioned earlier how IU East has got a lot of multiple ball handlers, and that's really helping with this full court defense that the Cougars are bringing, because they can't really lock in on one guy to bring down the ball and lock him down to force somebody else. They really have a lot of options right now to bring down the ball, and it's really helping with this full court defense.
Nice pass to Vache Davis gives the Red Wolves a 1-point lead, 65-64. 3:11 to play here in the second half at the Tiernan Center. Red Wolves 6-1, looking to make that win number 7 tonight at home. And here's going to be traveling called on Martell Medley, the 6'3 senior from Euclid, Ohio.
Yeah, Bullbucket played good defense there again as he locks down one of their stat sheet wise their best player, and he's doing a good job. He's had a couple big stops on the defensive end on Medley.
Ball now inbounds for the Red Wolves. Jason Ray brings it up the floor.
And it's winding down to these last 3 minutes, and this is going to be some crucial minutes for both teams. Both teams are going to be in the bonus with their fouls, and now you see the Red Wolves in a double bonus. So you would like to see them be aggressive, but with 3 minutes in the lead, although it's a really small lead, you'd like to maybe slow it down a little bit and use the clock to your advantage.
Foul was on Ashwell, his fourth. Puts Fangman at the line to shoot 2 for the Red Wolves. First free throw up and in for Fangman. Don't forget the women's team in action tomorrow night at Marion. And second free throw for Fangman, no good.
See, both last 2 trips down, we've had 4 chances at the free throw line when we only convert 2, and that keeps it a 1-possession game still.
And that's going to be Red Wolf basketball off the turnover.
Red Wolves really getting it done right now on the defensive end. They just it seems like a completely different team from last year. And that's a good thing because they're just playing great defense right now, and they're making a lot of big stops and making it tough for this Cougars offense, especially this really tough Cougars offense from three-point land, and they're really making it tough for them.
Here's Fangman up the middle and lays this one in. 68-64, 2:18 to play.
That's a big basket there. Now they're up 2 possessions with 2 minutes left, and you really need to get a big stop here, and then you got the clock on your favor, and we're playing good basketball down the stretch, and that's where the games are won, is these last few minutes.
And a basket by Patrick Lucas makes it a 2-point ball game, 68-66. Lots of noise here inside the Tiernan Center.
I think the fans are starting to wake up. I mean, we've had good basketball all day, but coming down under 2 minutes, I think they're finally starting to wake up, and hopefully they can get these Red Wolves going as the game comes down to an end.
1:44 to play. As you mentioned, the game under 2 minutes. And it's going to be Cougar basketball as they inbound the ball, and right now Medley is going to be bringing the ball up the floor for the Cougars. We over on the right side. There's going to be a foul called down low. Looks like this one will most likely go on Brad Hunt.
That's a tough foul because, I mean, it's away from the ball. You're in the bonus for that foul, and there's a minute and a half left. You really just got to play smart basketball. You don't want to give them free chances at the line with no time coming off the clock.
It's going to put Patrick Lucas at the line to shoot 1 and 1 as the Cougars are now in the bonus. First free throw up off the back of the iron, rebounded by the Red Wolves. 1:30 to play, 68-66.
You know that's a great foul on Brad's part. No, I can't say that. It turned out to be great, but you really got to play smart basketball.
There's Fangman. He's going to go cross court to Vache. Vache Davis puts up the 3. This one's off the rim, and it's going to go out of bounds off of the Red Wolves. As trying to make a last-second effort there was Houston Clark.
That's one of those cringe plays because he's been known to get hurt, especially last year. And you see him, I've seen him do this all year. He's just throwing himself on the floor. He reminds me of a Dennis Rodman, just automatically diving on the ball for all them loose balls.
And a timeout taken by Mount Vernon Nazarene. They're going to take a full timeout. They have 1 timeout remaining in the game. We'll be right back with more IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. And welcome back to IU East men's basketball. 1:08 to play here in the second half. Red Wolves up by 2, 68-66. Red Wolves in the double bonus. Cougars in the bonus. Ball inbounded to, it's going to be Medley. And taking it underneath the basket is Reddick. He misses. Be rebounded by the Red Wolves. Under a minute to play, down to 55 seconds. As Vache Davis walks it across the half-court line, and Coach Mark Hester is going to take a timeout here with 53.8 to go. He's going to take a full timeout. We're going to stay here during this timeout. Derek, what do you expect to see here during this next 53.8 seconds?
Well, there's only still 28 seconds on the shot clock, so they can't wind the clock down with 53 seconds left total. I mean, I want to go back to that last play where Jason, he played really good defense, and then they corralled the defensive board. They gave it to Jason, and Jason looked like he was going to run down the court, and then he stopped. He made the smart play to give it to Vache and slow it down. Then Mark Hester called the timeout. I think that's what he was going to tell his team right now, is we got the clock on our side with a 2-point advantage. Let's try to go out there, use as much time as we want, but we still want to get a good, smart shot. So I'd expect these Red Wolves to play a good possession here, and let's hope that they can get a really good possession. I'd like to see them drive the basket while they're in the double bonus.
Definitely a lot of drawing going on down there on the playboard in the timeout. 53.8 to play as Mount Vernon Nazarene comes out of their huddle on the floor. Red Wolves up by 2. Once again, IU East in the double bonus. Mount Vernon Nazarene only in the bonus. Over 10 fouls on the Cougars, and Red Wolves only have 7 team fouls here in the second half. Jason Ray is going to go to half court and inbound the ball for IU East. Bolenbacher in the backcourt. And Houston Clark up close to the free throw line. Brad Hunt over on the left side of the lane. They're going to inbound to Bolenbacher, who just stands there with the ball. Like Derek said, right now just try to take as much time as you can off the clock, but still get a smart shot off. With 40 seconds to play and up by 2. Shot clock down to 10. And here's Bolenbacher. He's going to take it to the lane, lay one up, and in.
That's a big basket there. Now shot clock is off. Oh, there it goes. Now shot clock's off, and now you just got to play smart defense, get a stop here or there.
Three-pointer there by Josh Ashwell. That's his first attempted 3 of the night, makes it 70-69 with 22 seconds remaining. And Mount Vernon's going to take their last and final time out of the game with 22 seconds to play. Red Wolves up by 1. We'll be right back with the rest of this game between Mount Vernon Nazarene and IU East on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Welcome back to IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. IU East up by 1, 70-69 with 22 seconds left in the game. Shot clock is dead. Red Wolves will be inbounding the ball underneath the Mount Vernon basket. They do have the baseline. You see Tyler Fangman runs it. They're going to keep the ball out of bounds. Nice inbound play there by the Red Wolves. And this foul is going to go against the Cougars. This one's going to go against, looks like, Patrick Lucas.
You know, that's a great play. I mean, it's a very creative play, but I mean, it's not only creative, but it's a smart play. I mean, you kind of move the ball down the baseline with the pass, and you got 2 guys on the baseline, and then to bring it into one of your best free throw shooters on the team with Vache Davis, you expect big things. You got to convert now.
Davis 2 for 2 at the line tonight, make that 3 for 3. He also has 8 points in tonight's game. Does not have a personal foul yet. The Red Wolves up by 2, 71-69. with 19.2 to play. Here's Davis at the line for second of 2. This one up and in as well. 4 for 4 at the line for Vache.
That's big. That's a big free throws there. Now Cougars have no timeouts. Ooh, actually, excuse me. Red Wolves have no timeouts, but that was just a big play. I mean, inbound and then Vache converting at the line. It just makes it really tough for these Cougars. Now they have to make the three-pointer not only to stay in this game, but to only tie.
All right, 72-69. Red Wolves up by 3 with 13.9 remaining. We'll be right back after the timeout on the Red Wolves Sports Network. And welcome back to IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Red Wolves up by 3. Cougars will inbounds the ball with 13.9 remaining. And they get the ball inbounds to Schmitz, who put up a 3, and lots of contact on the play, but no foul call.
That's a great stop right there. I wasn't really expecting the Cougars to take a shot that early in the clock. But Jason Ray closed out great, and he ended up getting the block. And now they got to do it again as they got 10 seconds inbounding from the baseline.
So 10.7 left to play. Coach Hester wants to take a 30-second timeout here. And as he saw how they were going to inbound the ball, not wanting to take any chances here with still really kind of a lot of time as you're only up by 3. 10.7 to go.
And the thing is, the Cougars didn't really need a 3 right there. They could have drove to the basket if they would have got a quick shot at the layup, and then they still got Red Wolves are still up there inbound the ball, so they could either get the steal or maybe even just get a quick foul, and maybe they'll will only miss or make 1 or 2. But I mean, it's still it's a kind of a strange shot for the Cougars to take that. And it's not really, it wasn't even a good shot, but that quick of a shot is really questionable.
I think that might have been what they're trying to do, get it inbounds and shoot the 3, draw contact on the shot, however, and as he knew he had someone right there behind him, that's all he did. He kind of turned around, lowered a shoulder into him, and I'm pretty sure that with lowering the shoulder is why he didn't get the foul call there. And here is the 3 ball by Reddick. It's going to be no good. Rebounded out top. Shot down to 1, and Bolenbacher will run it out. Red Wolves take a 72-69 win here over Mount Vernon Nazarene. And Derek, tell us about this game.
Oh, before we even go about the game, that last play was amazing. Just you got 13 seconds left if you want to go back to the first three-pointer. We had 3 big stops there. We got a big stop with the block, and then they get another three-pointer, which actually was a pretty decent look, but it's just a great stop at the end of the game. That's what you like to see going forward, is if you come down to crunch time and you can win ball games, you have really high chances of winning late in the games, and you really like to see that. And this game, like we mentioned earlier, they were just evenly matched from the beginning, and no team really had any advantage throughout the game. No team was up a lot or down a lot. It was just great, even basketball, and you got to give it to the Cougars. They played great basketball, but just the Red Wolves played just a little better basketball, and it was just a great performance all around.
All right, the Red Wolves take a 3-point win and advance to 7-1 on the season. We'll take a quick break and come back with the post-game interview with Coach Hester. We'll be right back with more IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Hello, I'm Caleb Gillock, the host of Inside IU East Sports, a show where we talk with coaches, players, and other guests about what's happening with IU East athletics.
In the top 100 high school seniors.
Last year we were fortunate enough to do a variety of things on the track and then off to be able to be considered.
Make sure to join us on Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. on WETV Channel 20. And welcome back to IU East men's basketball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Now joining me is Coach Mark Hester. Coach, a 72-69 win tonight over Mount Vernon Nazarene. Tell us a little bit about tonight's matchup.
That was a great basketball game. Great college basketball game. I mean, two really good teams just going at it. And, it was, like two heavyweight fighters just punching. I mean, Mount Vernon's got a very, very good team this year. I'm very impressed by them. Can't say enough good things about how well they played and how tough of a matchup they are. And just sitting through that game makes you realize how blessed we are to do what we do. I mean, this is a lot of fun today.
Well, early on in the second half, there was a couple of what seemed to be cheap technicals called. Do you think that, so to speak, seemed to fire the team up at all in the second half?
I hope so. We talked about it. When I got them together out there, that's one of the things I said was you've got to let this motivate you to guard harder, rebound harder, and go to the hole harder because you're not going to get any calls. So, we don't want to get technical fouls. I mean, they were really cheap fouls that were not. They weren't really called for. Either way, weren't called for what we said, and then it was a little quick on the whistle right there. But it is what it is, and we fought through that, and that's a sign of fighting through adversity, and you go from that. And it's something we can talk about and get better at and stuff. Throughout the rest of the week and throughout the year. But just really proud of our guys, the way they stepped up when they needed to and played well and picked each other up. And we got some sickness going on, and there wasn't a lot of complaining about it. And guys came in and did their jobs like they're supposed to, and picked one another up. And just can't say enough about that.
You're now 7-1 on the season. This Friday you travel to Winona Lake at Grace College to take on Clark out of Iowa. What do you know about Clark?
Not a lot. Honestly, haven't started watching film yet. We've been really focused on this game. We knew this game was a huge game. I mean, Mount Vernon has played some pretty good teams and beat them badly. Right. So we respected them so much that we haven't looked at any other tape. So I'm sure Coach Rigby's probably glanced at it a time or two, but know that Clark's a quality team. And going to provide a big-time test for us, and we've got to show up ready to go. And anytime that you're playing another team on a neutral site, you've got to be prepared because there's not a lot of atmosphere there to keep you going. And so, we'll be ready, and hopefully we'll get one then.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining me, and congratulations on a great win tonight over Mount Vernon Nazarene. Once again, the Red Wolves take a 72-69 win tonight over Mount Vernon Nazarene. We'll take a look at some of the second half stats. In the second half, Mount Vernon Nazarene shot 15 of 35 from field goal range. That was a .429 average, and they shot .375 from field goal range in the game. In the second half, from the three-point range, the Cougars shot 4 for 10 and with .400 average in the second half, .318 for the game. And total free throw percentage, 4 for 9 in the second half, and shot .533 from the free throw line in the game. For the Red Wolves, they shot 16 of 30 from field goal range in the second half with a .475 field goal percentage in the game. A little bit higher there than the Cougars. Also from three-point range, the Red Wolves shot 1 for 5, and that was .357 for the game. And from the free throw line, 8 for 12 in the second half for a .667 second half average and .563 for the game. If you go through scoring, leading the way for the Cougars, that's going to be Medley. And looks like also Reddick with 14 points, Roby with 13. And it's going to be Josh Ashwell with 4. Medley he had 8. And then also scoring for the Cougars is going to be Joey Smits with 3. Scoring for the Red Wolves, leading the way in scoring, was a two-way tie for the Red Wolves as well. Houston Clark and Tyler Fingman had 17 points apiece for the Red Wolves. Also, Jason Ray, he had 12 points, 7 points for Brad Hunt. Looks like 9 points for Vache Davis. And also 4 points for Nick Bollenbacher, 2 points for each Josh Price, Don Williams, and Jacoby Claypool for the Red Wolves. And the Red Wolves will take the 72-69 win over the Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars. Once again, the Red Wolves now 7-1 on the season, back in action at Grace College Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. against Clark University out of Iowa. Red Wolves 7-1 after a 72-69 win. Special thanks to Kyle Garner, our broadcast engineer, Derek Blank for commentary, and I'm Caleb Gillock, the voice of your IU East Red Wolves. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.